Welcome back as always, guys. So, a little something I want to show you today, talk about real quick. Water. We all know we got to have water. That's not even out question. It doesn't matter how much of anything else you've got. If you don't have water, you are in big trouble. Bad juju. Not good. So that said, there's all kind of things we can do to have water, store water, etc. But what about on the move? I can have all the water capability that I want at home, but if I'm not home, if I'm out on the move somewhere, it's a different story. I can only carry so much water with me. Now, being in the deep south, our summers and even late spring, early fall is hot. If you're outside doing much of anything, especially walking, etc., you're going to be sweating. You're going to need a lot of water. So, water weighs a lot, right? It's a little over 8 pounds per gallon. It's a lot of physical weight to tote around, especially when you consider how much you're going to need to consume potentially. There's a lot of situations we may find ourselves in where we physically cannot carry enough water to support how much we're going to need. That means you got to be able to get water on the fly as you go. There's all kind of water filtration systems out there on the market. There's a number of different companies. I've got multiple different ones myself, but I wanted to show one to you that I got because I have a specific reason for this filter, right? This one's going to go in my wife's emergency get home bag. Now, she doesn't work very far from home. She could literally, on a normal day with nothing going on, she could probably walk home in 30 minutes, an hour if she's taking her time. But depending on what may or may not happen, it could potentially take her a lot longer. She might not just be at work. She might be out across town somewhere or something. Wanted something to put in her bag that didn't take up a lot of space, was lightweight, would be easy and simple for her to use, etc. What I got was this little number, and I want to make sure I get it. This is from Survivor Filter. Okay. This is their Survivor Filter squeeze water system. Basically, it's like a straw. Now, you've no doubt seen other comparable or similar items on the market, but I wanted to try this one out for a couple specific reasons. Number one, when you get this, it'll come with 2 of their foldable canteen pouches. Now, these are nice, again, because not storing water in her bag, these fold up really small, really lightweight, etc., and will help facilitate her getting water on the go. All she's got to do is find a stream or a pond, or worst case, a ditch full of water, swamp, all of which we have plenty of around us, and she can fill these up with water, take them with her, and filter it with this. So the way this works is you basically unscrew the cap on here, and then you can screw this onto there and you turn it up and drink. Easy enough. You can also, and I forgot to need the cap, easier to drink the cap off. You can also take and squirt water through this into another container. You could also take this and stick it directly down into water and drink. Either way, you're getting filtered water. Now, a couple of the things that I like about this one over some of the other offerings, and why I wanted to try this one out, was number one, has a replaceable filter in it. You can buy extra filters and replace them and keep this going. Number two, in the end right here, this screws off There's an O-ring seal on it. It actually has a little cotton pre-filter. You can order, it comes with extra cotton pre-filters, but you can also order more of them, meaning that it will help extend the life of the main filter. And again, you can have extras of the main filter. You can keep it going for a long, long time, and it doesn't cost a lot of money. This whole system on their website lists for $40. That ain't bad. Second reason I wanted this one is because, like most filters of good quality, it does, and I'm going to read for you just because I don't want to get it wrong, 99.9% of protozoa, most will do, but here's where it does something that not all filters do. 99.9% of viruses, staph, and bacteria. That is very important, especially for my area. It also will handle 89% of mercury and lead removal. That's big too. So all those things combined, the ability to have extra filters, change out the pre-filters, etc., the fact that it will do bacteria and viruses in addition to protozoa, mercury and lead removal, those are all key things that have really turned me on to this. Again, this is going to be for my wife. This is something that I'm going to be trusting to get her clean, drinkable water in an emergency situation. So that said, being the dutiful husband that I am, I'm actually going to go try it out first before I put it in her bag and let her do it. So, I'm going to bring y'all along. Let's go try this out and see what happens. Okay guys, so I wanted to get back in the swamp that's that away and try out some water in there because there's no water like swamp water. However, unfortunately, when I got back in there, the swamp's dried up right now. So, due to the lack of rain, it's crazy. We go from weeks and weeks and weeks of monsoons to weeks and weeks and weeks of nothing. It's weird. Anyway, you're not here for the weather report. So instead of the swamp water, we're going to do the next best thing. Some good old-fashioned pond water. Now, as you can see, it's not exactly the most inviting thing that you'd want to just stick your lips down to and start drinking from. You want to be careful in selecting where you're going to get water from, because there's sometimes things that filters may not actually take out. Like, you don't want to be getting water that's runoff and downrange from, like, say, a large farm, or you know, like an industrial area runoff water, or even runoff from like roads and highways, because sometimes there are going to be chemicals in there that filters won't get out. However, in a real situation, a real emergency, you may not have a choice. You may have to take whatever water you can find. So that said, this is just plain old nasty, fairly stagnant pond water, and we're going to get down here and fill up the bag and take a sip and see what happens. So, just so y'all can see me do it on camera, hopefully I've got that where you can see. We'll get down here, and if I don't sink and fall in from the muck, which I'm going to ruin my pants in the process, but oh well, the things we do for science. Now, typically you don't want to try to disturb things and filter up a lot of silt while you're doing it, so you just do the best you can. And help if I open the bag up a little more. Let some of that lovely water go in there. Alright, let's try again. There we go. And I'm getting it nice and silty. Get a slightly cleaner spot, guys. Hang on, I'm trying not to get too much silt in the muck in there if I can help it. Getting it to stay open long enough to get the water in is the problem. Alright, I think that's probably enough for our purposes. So let me bring y'all back up. Alright. That's a lovely shade of brown. I don't know if y'all can see that good on the camera. And there's lots of particulate floating in there. See if y'all can see any of it. I don't know if you can or not. But I would not drink that. I would not drink that at all. So we're going to screw the filter on there, open this up, and see what she looks like coming out. We'll just squeeze a little bit and it's filling up the filter. Let me get it to where it's coming out. Hang on. The filter's got to get filled up first. There we go. Alright. That looks pretty clear. Now for the moment of truth. We're going to try it and see what happens. Just so y'all can see, I got it in my mouth. You know, it doesn't taste horrible. There's no particulate or anything in there, obviously. It doesn't taste like bottled water or tap water or well water. You can tell it's probably pond water, but it's drinkable. Yeah, it's definitely drinkable. That's clear water coming out of there. Alright, so now the moment of truth. We're going to wait a couple of days. I will report back to you and let you know if I've spent a lot of time on the porcelain throne. So, stay tuned. Alright guys, we're back, and as you can see, I am no worse for wear. Not a single problem. So, I feel pretty confident that the filter works fine. No reason to believe that it wouldn't, but I always like to try things out for myself anyway. So, that said, when I got back in from doing the previous test, I rinsed it off good, cleaned it, wiped it, dried it, whole 9 yards, and I went ahead and changed out the pre-filter and put a new one in just so it'd be fresh and ready to go when I put it in my wife's bag. However, I thought that I would let you guys take a look at the pre-filter that was in there. That's what it was grabbing out that was keeping it from going into the main part of the filter itself, the cartridge. So, it's doing what it's supposed to do. Now, obviously, it's still got a lot of life left in it. I could use that again and again and again, long before it was rendered unusable. But again, since I put it in my wife's bag, no reason not to put a fresh, clean one in there so it's ready to go right from the start. One other little point I wanted to make on the bag. So, I was using, it comes with 2 bags. I was using one of the 2. Made a little boo-boo on my part that I should have thought about. So these have been packed up and sealed up for a long time, obviously. So the plastic's all stuck together, and I was having a hard time getting water into the bag. Had a brain fart moment. What I should have done before I tried to put the water in there is blow it up so that it's actually not stuck together and open, and will actually let the water into the bag. So that's why I was struggling. It wasn't any fault of the bag or anything else. It was just a brain fart on my part, and I'm going to attribute it to a lack of proper caffeination. So, that said, I'm going to put a link to these in the description box. If you like it, grab one. If you don't, don't. If you don't want to use my link, check out Amazon. You get them on Amazon. You can get them directly off their website without using my link. Whatever floats your boat. If you do use my link, I appreciate your support. I did become an affiliate with Survivor, and I'm glad I did. I like their products. One thing I failed to point out on the previous video, there is a small loop right here that you could thread a little piece of cord to make a dummy cord so that you don't lose this. Probably a good idea. But yeah, overall, I am really impressed and happy with this. One thing I didn't point out too, the nipple on the inside right here is it's an actual nipple, so it's ribbed in there. You could actually take a piece of hose and put on there, and it will retain it. So you could run the hose down into the water and drink directly from a water source if you needed to with a hose, and not have to get your head and whole body right down into it. So that is an option that I want to make sure I pointed out to you. Water is important, guys. Having something small like this that allows you to get water on the go could be a key lifesaver and keep you from having to physically carry a lot of water with you at any given time, depending on how available water is in your area. So like here, water's everywhere. You can't go 2 miles without running into water some kind somewhere. There's a pond or a stream or a river, a creek, a lake, something. There's fresh water everywhere, just not drinkable water. So check it out. It's small and lightweight. It's not expensive. It could be a lifesaver. I have got another one of their filters that I've got for myself that I will be trying out in an upcoming video. But for now, y'all check this one out. Thanks as always, guys. Get out there, get trained, practice, get prepared. I'll see you in another one. Quick addendum, guys. Something I thought about after I finished the video. You might want to take and get you an old rag or cloth or something. Put it with your filter when you pack it up. Reason being, so due to the nature of how you have to operate this, since you're having to take your water container and put it in the contaminated water to fill it up, it's probably a good idea to have an old rag or cloth that you can really wipe the entire outside of it down before you actually put the filter on. Reason being, it only takes one drop bad water to get up on the filter, get on your hands and your mouth, whatever, and you got trouble. So being able to wipe it off good before you turn it up and then have bad water running down the outside of it and up towards your face, it's cheap, simple insurance just to bug your wife for an old washcloth or something that she's fixing to throw out that you can put in your bag to wipe that bottle off with. Thanks for watching. See y'all later.